Hi guys, it's Blackie. Okay, today we're going to talk about a little bit more in the simple cooking series. We're about to change over. We've done some frying stuff and stuff like that. And in the next few videos we're going to be talking about bush pot cooking. Cooking inside of something. But I wanted to bring out some details to you that a lot of people just don't seem to get, because in today's society we don't really cook. We heat stuff up. So you come home, you throw it in the microwave oven, you go. I'm old enough, I remember when TV dinners became a thing, and you had to turn your oven on at 350 degrees, and it took 45 minutes to heat up a TV dinner. And that was considered quick cooking in the late 1960s. 45 minutes to heat up a TV dinner. Now you do the same thing in 6 minutes with a microwave. Microwave cooking is absolutely a great thing, but we're talking about cooking in the field, okay? And because of that, there's some little quirks that I want you to be aware of. So, first up, let's talk about the difference between when we're using a bush pot of some kind, and this is a really old bush pot of mine, guys. Just an old stainless steel bush pot that I got years ago. It's a corn boiler, heavy gauge, and it had a handle right here like a mug. I cut that handle off to make it in strictly little bitty bush pot. I cooked a ton of meals for myself in that little bitty pot right there. You can tell by the blackening. Now, what is the difference between a stew and a soup? The water content. If I put a can of stew into that bush pot and add too much water, it becomes a soup, doesn't it? Okay. Water is one of the primary ingredients in so much cooking. It is the primary liquid that is used to build upon everything else. But most people don't think a lot about water. Okay. Water tastes different depending on where you are due to the mineral content of it. Now here where I'm at in the deep south, 30 miles to the east of me is a place called Dothan, Alabama. I hate the water there. I worked in that city for several years, and I always hated the water because it has a sulfur-like taste to me. The locals are used to it, so they don't notice it. And once I had worked there for 2 or 3 weeks, I got to where I could ignore it, and after a year I didn't notice it so much. But it was because of the content of the water, and that's across the board. So when you go into a restaurant and you get a drink with ice in it, and it tastes kind of funny. Well, the ice is made with the local water, see. Now how this applies to us is, I'm going to cook and I'm going to use instant mashed potatoes. Let's say that I'm going to use local water right out of this stream. It's so clear I don't think I need to filter it, and I'm going to be boiling it anyway, correct? So I'm not going to need to worry about anything alive in it. I'm bringing it to a good rolling boil and let it boil for a minute. So anything in there is dead and it's clear, I ain't got to worry about it. Yes, but there's a mineral content of that water. That water may have a taste unto itself. And so you go to make these potatoes, it may taste a little different because this water where you're camping may be different from the water from home that you're used to. Now with the Grail that I'm using, that eliminates that because I'm filtering it all to a neutral tasting water. I don't have to worry so much about what the local water tastes like. It's always going to taste like this, where it's taken out all of that stuff out of the water and provided me with a good tasting water. Okay. Now like I said, 30 miles to the east of me is a sort of a bitter sulfur water. 30 miles to the west of me, in a little place called Andalusia, Alabama, man, that's sweet water. You've heard the term sweet water. Well, it is. I mean, when I drink the water right out of the wells, it tastes like it's got sugar in it. It's almost like a soda. I'll sit there and drink it by the gallon. I love it. And a lot of times I go over there with friends and I'll bring back a couple of gallons to home because I like it so much better than I do my tap water at home or etc. And so that water I prefer to carry when I'm going camping because it's sweet. Okay? Now, I'm going to be creating, and we're going to be doing this very soon, a dehydrated meal. Now you can pick up these mountain houses all kinds of places, and this one is lasagna and meat sauce. I view these as a kit, an incomplete kit. Because this is lasagna with meat sauce, cheesy Italian style tomato sauce, and beef, freeze dried. It's actually pretty good. Can we make it better? Absolutely. In the coming videos, we're going to make this right here, and I'm going to show you how I spice it up. Because you're going to start with the basic component, and you're going to add to it. What if I added onions, tomatoes? What if I added beans? What if I add chilies? Rotel that's already got chilies mixed into tomatoes, etc. A thing that you need to do is start your own little cookbook. I mentioned this earlier. I'm going to experiment, and we never experiment in the field. We always experiment at home. So buy one of these and make dinner with it one night. If you like it, wonderful. Add it to your little list. Meals I like at, say, Walmart. That's where I got these. Okay, the lasagna meat sauce. On a scale of 1, 2, 3 stars, it's a 2 stars. Good. Star, 2 stars. Add Rotel tomatoes with chilies. Add da-da-da-da. Add da-da-da-da. And make it like you want. So now when I'm going to go out, we're going to go camping, going to go cooking, because I've already tried it at home and I liked it. And I'm going to make it for the family. And they already like it because we tried it at home for dinner one night. Now I know, here's the components that I add to it. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not constantly going, what did you add last time? Asking the wife, like, 3 or 4 months ago when what was it we did, what would we, you'll forget. So you add to it. Now, the water. Carry water from home with you. We're talking about car camping, that type of stuff. Carry it with you because you know that taste. And so when I add it to this, it tastes the same. If I'm taking the water locally to save on that water, then I need to filter it or something, or at least taste it ahead of time and find out, God, this tastes horrible. Well, what that's going to tell you, it's like over here at Dothan, all that water tastes like sulfur to me. Like a medicine, like when you take a swallow of it, it's like aftertaste like cough syrup to me. You want to eat lasagna with cough syrup? See what I'm saying? This is one of those little tips of wisdom that most people don't think about. They just talk about making the dish. But since the predominant component you're going to contribute to this is going to be water, the water makes a difference. See? Now, how about canned vegetables? Talk about them for a second. This is canned French peas, and this is packed in water. But now this water is from whatever the plant is that's doing this. And these major manufacturers run their water through filters to remove those tastes, so it's kind of neutral, okay? But canned vegetables are not really cooked. Now hold on with me, I know what you're saying, but just bear with me a minute. When they go to make peas, carrots, turnips, corn, whatever, whole corn, it is what's called blanched. And what that means is it's put into water, brought up to a boil, kept at a boil till point X when it is just barely cooked. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 1. It can legally be said it's cooked, but it ain't done yet. And then it's put into a can because they're expecting you to reheat it. Well, that's cooking it more, right? And they don't want it to be overcooked. So they do it that way. How does this apply to us? This is something else you want to try at home. I'm going to take this and I'm going to add it as a side dish for something else I'm cooking. I'm just going to open up a can of French cut green beans. How long should I cook it? Well, you can heat it up till it just comes to a boil and it's edible right then, but it will not have much flavor or taste. because it's just what it did out of the can. That's the reason many people say canned vegetables don't have, I didn't like it. The cooking time has not been reached, okay? I want to take this can and put it in the pot, and I want it to come to a boil, and then I want to simmer it for 20 to 30 minutes. You heard me right. Bring it to a boil. As soon as it comes to a boil, reduce the heat or move it a little further off the fire if you're on a campfire, and keep it at a simmer for about 30 minutes. It will taste much better. You want to make it taste even better? Add something to this. Like what, Blackie? Well, this is nothing but water in it, right? What if I've got a beef stock? Could I add it to this? Because the main dish is beef. Could I add beef bouillon to this water? Would it taste better? Or chicken, or whatever, or pork, or something else, salt, peppers, onion, a hunk of ham, a hunk of salt pork, a hunk of whatever, to flavor and condition it. You see this a lot in beans, canned beans. And for many years at Rendezvous, I was kind of known for cooking these great northern beans, because of the tips and tricks I had learned from old mentors of mine to take salt pork and onion, cook it up in the pan, and then dump the beans on top of it and let it simmer for about 2 to 3 hours. You heard me right, hours. And the taste was a whole lot better. I mean, a whole lot better than it was right out of the can. And everybody wanted seconds and thirds of that, because, man, that tastes good. What'd you do to it? I cooked it. So in simple cooking, that's one of the things you got to understand. Cooking times and results. Now, if I'm on a stove or pressed, then I want to limit my cooking time to minimum, where all I got to do is just heat it up. That's where this is going to be boiling water added to it per directions, and eat it straight. I'm not going to try to fancify it. Perfectly fine. But now, what about if we're at camp and I've got the time? I've got plenty of firewood. We're going to keep this fire going no matter what. You know, I got time to simmer this. I got time to add to this. I got time to spice it up a little and turn it into something much better. See? Now we're going to be doing a cooking video not long from now, where I'm going to show you how I begin with one thing and it flows into multiple others. And I'll just give you a quick synopsis of it. I take a bush pot, and this will be breakfast. I'm going to take bacon, and I'm going to cut my bacon up into small pieces. I'm going to add just a little bit of water to that bush pot, and I'm going to drop in my bacon. I'm going to put it on the fire, and I'm going to start cooking it. Why water, Blackie? It keeps the bacon from sticking to the bottom, and as that water comes to a boil, it will start washing the bacon, and as that grease comes out of the bacon, it will mix it in with the water. As the water evaporates, it turns into grease and is therefore deep frying the bacon. The bacon never sticks to the bottom. Okay? When the bacon is done, I fish the bacon out. I now take the rendered bacon drippings and I put it into something to cool and save for later cooking. I don't wash the pot out. I just pour what will come out of it. Now I add water to it, and I bring it about a half a pot, and I add 2 eggs to it and put it back on the fire, or 3 eggs to it in a shell, and I bring it to a boil. And when it comes to a good hard boil, I let it boil for 8 or 9 minutes. Now I fish those eggs out, and what are they? They're poached. They're soft-boiled eggs. I then dip some of that water out and make instant grits with it. So I got eggs, grits, and bacon. And I'm sitting here eating my meal. I fish those eggs out. All I got to do is just spoon them out. That water's a good hard boil. Now what do you do with it, Blackie? Now dump in dried peas or butter beans, black-eyed peas, great northern beans, something like that. And as I'm sitting here eating my breakfast, I'm letting it stay there at a good hard boil. So for 15, 20 minutes, something like that, it's boiling hard. I get up, I clean up everything, and now I bring it over to a low simmer. Just keep it warm. And I let that pot sit on the fire 4, 5, 6 hours till it's dinner time, supper time. And then, from dried beans, I now have fully hydrated, fully baconated, deep flavor, good flavor beans. And I take that, and that's what I serve at dinner. That's how I made my lima beans. And that's how people, man, what is in this? Oh, this is good. And the last thing I did, after I spooned you up a big bowl of them, is I put some salsa on top, or some what we call cho-cho, tomato relish on top to eat with it, and a big old hunk of cornbread. Everybody wanted seconds. One cooking action flowed to the next, to the next, to the next. And that's some of the stuff we got coming right now. So we're about to shift over to bush pot cooking. And we're going to be taking the big Pathfinder bush pot, showing you how to cook with it. Sorry for the aircraft guys. And how to generate meals with it. If it's thick with a lot of meat, it's a stew. If it's hunks with a lot of liquid, it's a soup. Simple rule. I can shift from one to the other by varying the water content. And as you now know, the water matters in the final product. So, in conclusion, for simple cooking, something as simple as the water can affect how it tastes in the field. It can affect how good a cook you are in the field. So you need to be aware of it. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Please leave any questions or comments below. If there's something you'd like to see me cook, put it down there. I'm making up a list, and it's starting to get cool enough now I can start doing a fire and be able to cook on a fire and not be just sitting there sweltering. So we'll be able to get off of the Coleman stoves and things and get on to that type of cooking. It's coming. Please leave any questions or comments down below. And do me a favor before you leave and hit that like, share, and subscribe button for me and feed the algorithm. I'd really appreciate it. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.